Una settimana pesante.
Mm?
Una settimana pesante.
Ah, e perché? Dimmi, racconta, che è successo?
Lavoro. Many upset customers.
Oh, really? Ah, okay. So what you do?
No problem. It's normal.
Oh, so do you take care of people when they're upset?
Sometimes, not always. It's software, so if something is so broken that they need the product managers, they come to us, but we have client managers that handle the front line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's well, let's think positive now. So what's gonna happen after you're done today?
Well, we fix the problem, so we'll make them happy.
After you're done today with your work or
I got a date. So,
okay, good luck, man. Good luck. From what kind of mountain are you gonna stare at the rest of the world and look
I don't
upon
know.
us and bestow your gaze upon us and call this kind of thing?
I don't know. I think maybe this weekend I'm just going to a party. Nothing crazy.
What? What's going on?
One of my best friends is turning 40.
Huh?
One of my best friends is turning 40, so it's party weekend.
Yeah, 40 is yeah. 40 is an important date, I suppose. I've been told. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So you're
It felt the same.
yeah. I think when I was 30, like I was feeling like something was gonna change drastically because when I was much younger, I always thought that 30 was a kind of a point where then things would have started going south. You know, my body falling apart and all this kind of shit. Like I heard so much of this growing up. But then but it turned out that during my 30s, I was in better shape than I was for the rest of my previous life, actually. So actually, I think I kind of primed during my 30s as opposed to my 20s. At least this is how it felt. Like my body, my life, my profession.
Yeah, same with me. I think my mind caught up with my body in my 30s, so I could.
Right. How old are you? May I ask? Is that
41.
Oh, same age, 1980?
81.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. So I became very wise, like progressively wiser with how I use my body. So to some extent, now am I stronger than my 30s? I don't know. At times it depends because I train in different ways. So there are periods where I'm much stronger, periods where my strength decreases because I do other things. Work more on agility sometimes or less. Yeah.
I think I just get injured less often because I'm smarter.
Yeah, you have a lot of wisdom, right? And then you learn that you need to rest.
Yeah, you should rest instead of going to the bar. I learned that.
No, well, every now and again, I think the bar has, its fascination, I think. But
yeah, well, the bars in Europe are different than bars in America. You know that in America you just go to get really drunk.
Yeah, it's not
Italy, you go to hang with your friends.
No, it depends. It depends. Like it depends, but it depends on the places. But I think the drinking culture used to be very different, but I don't think it's the case anymore. At least not for younger generations. So what I experience is that people, at least my friends, my peers, tend to drink less as they grow older. I almost stopped. for example. Like I'm almost don't drink anymore. So I only have weed, Coke, and
Just the good stuff. Yeah.
well, but at least I'm getting rid of one thing at a time. Like cleaning up. No, I'm jokes aside, but I really almost don't drink anymore. I don't like it. It's weird. Like I used
I don't
to.
like.
I used to like the taste of wine, beer, things like this. I don't anymore.
I just don't like the hangover.
Yeah, that's well, the hangover you can kind of manage that. Like if you drink plenty of water before you go to bed, but like a liter, because
Yeah.
hangover most of the time is dehydration, right?
Yep.
So, but yeah. So well, listen. So looks like no one is showing up today. Sissi cannot make it. Tristan sent me a text. He says, "Oh, I have issues." Marco, Tomek, everybody has got their own problem. So, do you want to make like a private thing, like a private class? Do you want to like look at some art nonetheless, or do you want to, I don't know, do it next week? What do you think? What's your take? Because we can chat for a little bit if you want, or I can show you some art, or we can just adjourn the session and like do it next week. It's up to you.
No,
I'm here.
I think, yeah, we could have, I think we just cut it short. So let's do like 30-minute chat. And then I've got more work to do. So instead of the full hour and a half, you just make it a shorter session.
But do you wanna still like look at some art, or do you wanna just chat?
Yeah, we got art, chat, whatever.
Cool. Okay. Do you want to? Yeah. Okay. So let's meditate for a couple of minutes. So we center. Like 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 3 minutes. And then we start. How about that?
Sounds good.
Okay. So you breathe in, breathe out. Let's focus on the tip of our nose. And let's extend the area of focus from the nose to the face. Let's take the rest of the head, going down to the neck, and let's stay there. What do we feel? Is it hot? Is it cold? And we can slowly open our eyes and come back. Here we go. Here. Wow. So let's do some integration. Like, how do these exercises feel? Let me pick on your brain a little bit.
I mean, it's really good because it's the middle of my workday, so it's kind of like a reset.
Okay, so do they function? Do you think that do you get a little bit of benefit when we do it?
Yeah, I think it helps with stress, but it also helps me like get back in a more creative way of
Okay,
thinking.
cool. Okay, so it centers you, because the idea
Yeah, I
is
love
the reason why I do these things is because if we take a moment, 5 minutes normally is the best, but like around 3 to 5 minutes to like center yourself. Like normally you just become more present, and allows you to shift a mental space, basically. So you go from what you were doing to what you're before to what you're doing, like a little slowly, because we tend to do switch things very quickly,
Mhm.
which apparently burns a lot of sugars, and that's our brain doesn't like it too much. So yeah, cool. Well, let me, before we continue, do you want to offer some feedback about how everything is going for you? Like, are you learning? Do you like the setting? Like, do you have any comments so far? Because this is something that I wanted to ask everyone, but I'll start with you, and I'll use you as a guinea pig.
Yeah, well,
Unless you don't want to, unless
since no one else is here.
huh?
No, I think it's been really cool, but for me specifically, it's just like opening my mind to new things. You know, like Tristan works in the space and EC knows a lot about it. So they came in with a better grasp of what we were going to learn. I'm just like a blank slate. Like everything's new to me, and it's super cool to be learning like all this the new artists and the new technology and how AI is playing into this space.
Okay.
It's really interesting. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And are you like taking time to like read during the week when we before we do this or
Yeah.
sometimes you do?
More like it's like do you know what we call our coffee table book?
Yeah, like you sit down, you flip while you're doing something else. Okay.
Yeah, well, while I'm having coffee in the morning, I'll read a few pages, or if I
Yeah,
have
yeah,
a break during lunch, I'll read a few pages. Yeah.
yeah, but well, and I guess it's fine because I mean, it's not supposed to be a kind of book where you really study, because it's
Yeah.
even if when you go read, it's not a manual or something like this. It's more like because it looks like a magazine, like the style. Some
Yeah.
some things are interviews. It's not like a theoretical book, I think. So I also don't read it in particular depth or anything, because I don't think it wants to be that. Otherwise, the shape would be different, would be written differently.
Yeah, the format of the book is really unique. It's really cool. Like, I haven't seen many books like it.
It's beautiful, huh? Like the
Yeah.
material is nice, the cover is nice. I Actually, it's one of the most expensive books I bought lately. Because
Oh, other than textbooks.
well, because for my career, so as a like for philosophy and poetry, the kind of things I studied when I was at Cornell, I very rarely had to spend more than $30 for a book. Rarely. Uh, I don't remember, because sometimes I would buy them used, second hand.
Yeah.
But like it's not like medicine or law where a textbook is like $200 or something. Actually, most expensive book I bought was for my French course, for my French class, which I then realized I could have not bought the book because I was working in the department. I could have just asked for it. So it was a kind of a stupid expense. like very stupid. But besides this, so yeah, okay. And do you have like a suggestion, feedback, something I like should do differently? You think something that sometimes throws you off, people off? No?
Oh, I like it the way it is. I mean, if I had better ideas, I'd start my own seminar.
Oh, okay. Okay. Competitors. I hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, nice. Nice stuff. Okay. So why don't we, so there were a couple of artists that I wanted to show last time. So let me find them. Hold on. Because hold on. So if I do this, do you still see me?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I need to figure out like what happens when I flip there. All right. So let me introduce you to a couple of people that I find very interesting. Okay. Let me see. So now you have to help me a moment because I don't remember if I ever showed you this guy. Did I? Brennan Dawes? Did we do? You see?
I think we may have talked about him in one of the earlier sessions.
Okay. So I'll show you someone else because I okay. So and Sofia Crespo, did we do her?
No, this one's new.
Cool. She's Italian.
Ah, che bello.
Neural artist. It's very interesting. I mean, she's interesting insofar as she talks about biology-inspired technology, and her take is that basically with the technologies we built, we do nothing but reproducing nature. I don't know if you ever seen like highways from above. They could be blood vessels. They look like blood vessels, to be honest, like a, you know. So there is this idea that actually, when we build connections, when we build infrastructures, we somehow develop like exteriorize similar techniques that we like, similar technologies you might say actually that we have inside, similar apparatus. Probably as you know, as we progress, one might think that we improve and optimize, but it's not always the case, because like I think about the city like Rome, that it's filled with puddles everywhere right now. Okay, if you drive around, it's shit, unless you take the main roads which were built by the Romans, and they're still there. So there is this element at times that makes me think that the kind of progress that we have with technology is not necessarily advancement, meaning that at times, this is like for particular cases, it's not always like a positive improvement. For instance, a professor of mine who an archaeologist, like this guy was brilliant. But anyway, it was explaining to us how Greeks built doors. Okay, and so he said that we normally build the door like this, right? So this is the hinges, and so the door is kind of vertical, right? And opens and closes like this. And when we want the door to close, we put those arms, right, that push the door in and out, right? Making sense, right? But but and he said that these things like break and they're shit. And he says that Greeks could build better doors because the hinges were kind of built like this. And so they were oriented in a way that the door would close alone. With no other problems. Or if you go to Sicily, there are like, this is unrelated, but it's kind of interesting, I think. If you go to Sicily, there are ancient Arab buildings that are built in a way that they stay fresh in summer and warmer in winter. And how do they do this? The way they conduct air, they circulate air across. But I'm talking about things built in like 12th century, 13th century. So without putting like engines, compressors, air conditioning, so things that suck basically a ton of energy. These apparently more barbaric societies or backward societies would obtain a similar result. Of course, the things I'm talking about don't concern ordinary houses of the poor bastards like us. I'm talking about like beautiful places, but they did have the technology basically to do these things. Anyways, that was a detour, okay. So Crespo looks at similarities between techniques of AI image formation and the way that humans express themselves creatively and cognitively recognize the world. Her works brings into question the potential of AI in artistic practice and its ability to reshape our understanding of creativity. So we're all in the same boat together, basically, because you and I are asking, basically, you and I and the rest are asking, like, what the hell are we doing with creativity? What the hell is happening with machines? And these people are basically doing the same questions, except they sterilized their research with the work of arts, while we do it with words. And I have an error. All right. Can you see this? Can you see what's...
Not yet.
So this is, for example, deep learning. And
I don't think you're sharing
technology
the
that's
screen.
used here is called GAN, Generative Adversarial Network. And basically, there are two algorithms. One is the good cop, and one is a sort of a forger, and one is like a policeman. They when they explain to you how it works, kind of works like that. So there is a forger, somebody that has to make an image that needs to fool the police, the other algorithm that's supposed to say, no, this image is not realistic enough. Okay, and so by doing this game, basically the first algorithm needs to improve the quality as much as possible, and some applications of this stuff of this concept are this. Basically, you start with the...
Hey, Antonio, I don't think you're sharing your screen.
I didn't.
Can't see.
Oh, snap. No. Okay, sorry.
Oh, snap. You have been to America.
Okay, so let's assume I didn't say anything. Okay, so did I?
There we go.
Do you have it? Cool.
Now I can see it.
Okay. Sorry. All right. Let me move this thing so that you can. Right. Insect. I'm going to show you a couple of those, and then maybe we come back and we talk a little bit, okay?
Okay.
Sounds good?
Yep.
as usual, like pay attention to the thought process when you're feeling. I'm gonna show you another flowers. I'll show you another two. This is another one. And this is pretty. So the whole point of this is that the movement is not is artificially generated. So you have photos that are basically standing, and it's the algorithm that produces the movement. Care to say something about how it feels for you as and I will as I like show maybe some others. What do you think? How you feel?
I don't know. It's just really interesting. I don't know what to think about it.
Okay. How about
I
you
mean,
tell me something about how you feel?
Yeah, it just feels like nature and art coming together.
Okay. Is this something you like?
I liked I think it was the frog one. It was really interesting. I don't know why.
Okay. This one?
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't know
so
what.
give me a little bit of insight in your head. What's happening?
I just don't understand it.
You
It
don't
looks like a
understand it.
frog, but it doesn't look like a frog.
Looks a little bit like uh, I don't know, it reminds me a little bit of it's almost like a rabbit, right? Sometimes at times, like here, looks like the ears are growing.
It kind of does.
So to me, this is a little creepy, to be honest. I mean, I like the idea and I like the subjects, especially flowers, but the music, the kind of sounds and the kind of movements are somehow, I don't know, a little psychedelic, okay. But it just creeps me out a little bit. What about you? What do you?
It reminds me of like Pink Floyd's The Wall. If you've ever seen that movie.
No, but I heard of it.
A lot of like psychedelic cartoons, but these are like generated with AI, which is really interesting.
Okay. Can you turn up your voice because I can barely hear you.
Maybe. How about now?
Same. Not me. Well, just speak up and should be good. So Pink Floyd. So would you elaborate a little bit on nature? How you were what you were saying before?
I mean, all of these are obviously based on nature, so this makes me feel like a little bit like I'm diving, like you're just suspended in water, observing sea life.
And how they transform. I don't know, it gives me the feeling that I don't know, I can see the potentiality of this technology, this technique, basically, but I don't think it's mature yet. Because I don't have that kind of when I look at these things, it sends me back again a vibe of yeah, psychedelics, like weirdness, but
This would be really cool on acid.
yeah, it's yeah, I don't know, I don't find it particularly beautiful. I guess this is what I would say, but then again, it still calls my attention. So if I have to be strictly, if I have to be, come on, okay. So it's, I think it still does its job as a work of art because it calls my attention. And even if it freaks me out a little bit, it's still doing its job. It's just that I wish it were a little more beautiful, I would say. And instead, the kind of movement, how is not yet natural, so to speak, that just creeps me out a little bit. I don't know. Do you see this, or is that me?
Yeah, yeah. It's maybe it's not mature, but it takes like a still painting, and it adds movement. It adds like the weather. It adds the wind. It adds water. So if you were looking at a painting in a museum, it doesn't move. This adds movement and the elements of weather, things like that. I think it's kind of cool.
Okay. Right. Okay, let's look at something else. Beneath neural waves, privacy error, advanced, proceed. Neural waves, click and drag to explore the interactive map. Okay. Oh, what's that?
I have no idea.
Ah, you can
Some sort of coral.
Explores biodiversity through an attempt at creating digitally an aquatic ecosystem as a means of attempting to engage with the very abstract concept of relationship. You know, I can I be a bitch right now? Like, I just don't like how they explain their art sometimes. I find the way they express themselves so complex. I wish I could edit the things I see sometimes. But yeah.
Maybe they want it to be confusing.
They want it to be confusing, do you think? These
Maybe.
dioramas of artificial life, together with various sculptural fragments, imagery, and text, reach out towards the complex entanglement of natural life, both within itself, with itself and the others. Oh, they're small
Text file.
but they were able to move with leaves as if they were an extension of wave itself, almost like a second skin. They were able to communicate with each other just using the wave. It was beautiful. I don't know if this is, I'm afraid, if this is artificially generated or not. Let's see a little bit more. There is something else. Bang. Oh, we can enlarge this. Okay. There is some fractals, I think. Are these fractals? Can you go inside indefinitely? No. No, but it would have been nice if you could. But you can enlarge quite a bit. Looks like a coral, right?
Yeah.
Maybe. Have you ever seen a coral? I haven't.
Yeah, I have. Yeah. Yeah.
Are they like this? Like black? No.
They're not black. I mean, maybe some are, but not the ones I've seen.
Okay. Are they colorful?
Usually, like in Hawaii, in the Pacific, they are, you know, in the Mediterranean, everything's gone. Like all the color is gone.
Yeah. Let's see if we can find something else in this place. Here we go.
Oh,
Crucible.
yeah, that one looks cool.
Oh, it's an animation. Oh, maybe we can. Oh, damn. Maybe I can improve the resolution. No, I cannot. Let's watch it again. What about this? How does it feel?
Like an aquarium.
Yeah, it's peaceful, huh?
Yeah.
And the corals here, right? Yes.
Fish, sharks.
Hey, another stop, and then we move on to. Oh, here you go. This is applying the same principle that the other things that we were looking at before. I think this is still gone. But you see, like it creates transitions of a species into another. It's pretty cool. It's kind of mesmerizing, actually. What do you think?
It's interesting.
Okay. Shall we look at something else? Neural zoo. Oh. What is it? Exploration of the ways creativity works. Okay. The recombination of known elements into novel ones. Do you share this definition of creativity? Well, yeah. Or do you have
Yeah,
another?
it's.
What's
I think
creativity
it's.
for you?
This is almost the definition of innovation. Like there's nothing new. It's always like using new things and or using old things in new ways.
So would you agree with this definition, or you would use something else?
I would agree with it. I think there's probably many definitions of creativity. I don't know. There's probably individual to every person.
Mm. Image resemble nature, but a nature that's been rearranged. Okay, let's see what it's. If we can we go somewhere, do some things? No? Oh no. Okay. We just okay, so basically this idea is to introduce foreign elements into known structures. It's quite confusing for the eye.
Yeah.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
Do you like it?
It's interesting, the rearrangement. Like you said, it's confusing. Like
It's quite confusing, huh?
it's things we know arranged in ways that are odd.
That's, yeah, it feels odd, huh?
Yeah.
Does something like this create that sense of rapture and awe that many of us are looking when they're looking for when we're engaging with art? Or should I say, what are you looking for when you look at artwork?
Me personally, I don't know. I'm looking for something that captures my attention in good ways, bad ways.
I can barely
something that
hear
makes me
you. Can you
think.
speak up?
Maybe. No, I'm looking for just something that captures my imagination. Like, could
Okay,
be positive, could be bad, anything that makes me think. That's what I like in art.
so something to capture your imagination,
Yeah.
whether be okay. Huh. And is this the same kind of since we talked many times about the fact that for you, like nature has this artistic dimension. Would you use the same words to describe your position in front of something majestic coming from nature? Majestic or not, like can be a small thing. There was a Harry Miller who said, even an ordinary blade of grass, if given our complete unvarnished attention, becomes a miraculous and incomprehensible, glistening object of beauty, an infinite thing in itself. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that. He's much better with his words than I am. Like, I don't have the words to articulate that.
Practice. But would you
Yeah,
say
wow.
that? Like, would you use the same kind of words that you used before, like capture your imagination when you're talking about your relationship with the mountain, a cloud, river, lake,
I would think so, yeah.
an animal? Okay. Okay. Is there any element of awe that you're looking for?
You're hoping for it. And if you get it, that's what I consider a great work of art. Like this art isn't as captivating to me as real mountains, or real oceans, or real nature. But
Okay. So would you say, for example, that this kind of art that we've seen so far, and I'm not trying to, I mean, this is not like an artistic judgment or anything. It's just like an impression, like a relationship. Would you say that it's hard to find that sense of awe when you look at these things, or what?
probably, yeah. Like this looks like it's trying to reorganize the way you think. Like you're expecting to see this organized in a certain way, and they've completely changed the arrangement to make you like view it from a different angle, maybe to make you think differently, take a different perspective.
Yeah. I don't know. Again, like I have the sense that these techniques. I mean, these are very new things. This is cutting edge stuff, even if it
Yeah.
looks, I don't know, like what's your perception, but these are things that are very new. And
Yeah.
when I look at those, I get a feeling that we're not quite there yet, but it's coming. This jellyfish does not exist.
Not even-
Privacy error. God damn. Okay. Look at it. Whoa. Okay, you can. Okay, this is nice because you can interact with it. I mean, I can at least. Boom. For example, I'm interested in these things because I can see a moment in which with the AR, VR, and haptics, we're going to be able to touch these things, right?
Yeah, probably.
And it's going to give a back, probably when it works well, it's going to give us a very similar, if not undistinguishable, sense of interaction with the material objects that we have. It's going to recreate the same fiction that the same hallucination that we have normally.
Yeah, it will be the Matrix.
It is already the Matrix. Is the mountain that you're looking at really there? Does the mountain exist?
If you can touch it, it's there.
But is it?
From my perception, it's there.
Okay. But what about
I don't know.
the atoms that compose the mountain, which are moving and bumping into each other, and they're empty, by the way. What about all this that we know it's there, but we don't see?
I mean, you see it because the mountains are also alive. They're moving, they're changing, they're like, especially in like the newer ranges. If you go to the Himalaya versus like an ancient range like the Rocky Mountains, nothing's settled, everything's in constant motions. The glaciers are alive, there's sounds happening all around you. It's not an inanimate object. It's constantly like changing. So, yeah. So
Okay, so you can experience
like
this
you mentioned,
live,
yeah,
basically. So you have this feeling
the-
that the whole thing is alive.
mhm.
Would you say that?
Yeah, it's alive and there's a weird energy. Like there's an energy that's outside yourself and it's very powerful. I don't know how to explain it, but
Hmm.
you get like a feeling you don't get in the city.
Okay. Hmm. But is matter in cities different than matter elsewhere?
Not scientifically.
Okay, so it's our perception, right?
Yeah,
Or not?
it must be. I don't know.
You know, Greeks had 3 ways to look at life and had 3 different words. They had dynamis, bios, no, dynamis, zoe, and bios. They had 3 words. And so dynamis was basically movement of particles, whichever they were. So actually, you know, the concept of atom is Greek. It's
Mhm.
5th century before Christ or something like this. Democritus, he came with this idea. I mean, he was not the only one who had the similar idea, but he said that at some point, matter reaches a point where there is a building block which cannot furtherly be divided, and he called it atomos, non-divisible, right? So he came up with this concept. Then and he had the theory according to which atoms were moving in a particular way. They would bump into each other, then they would clamp and originate what we see today. Interesting because he never saw any of these things. Couldn't prove it. It was just something he figured out on his own. So it's pretty cool, I think, 2,500 years ago. Anyway, dynamis, so particles, inanimate life. And there was zoe, which is animal life. Plant has zoe, animals have zoe. And then there is a conscious rational life, bio, which is us. So they had 3 different words, which indicated somehow the level of an increasing level of probably complexity or something like this. Or I don't know if they were aiming at complexity, but anyway, other animals don't have bios, only humans do.
Interesting.
So anyways, so this thing is moving, and I don't exactly know what to do with it.
It looks like an amoeba.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, there are many which you can interact with. Oh, and you can kind of abuse the thing too. Yeah. Oh my God, I'm gonna be sued for abusing non-existing animals now. Oh, another one. This is pretty. Okay. GAN-generated specimen jellyfish. Do you like the project? Huh. I don't know. Do you like the project?
So. I don't know what GAN is. What is GAN?
GAN is the neural nets that I was telling you about before.
So it's
The forger and the good cop, bad cops, and the good cops. Well, let's look at one last thing and then we adjourn. Let me see. Artificial remnants. Gilded mechanical gripper beetle. Examine specimen. Oh my God. Okay. Oh, wow. Can I make it bigger? Yes. I can look at it from inside.
you can see inside it.
Wait. Oh, that's inside. Damn. That's awesome, actually. Yeah. Wow. Okay, I like that.
It's pretty
Trippy.
crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's very trippy. No blood, nothing. Food. It's a cavern, basically.
Yeah, it's a cave.
Exactly, a cave. Exactly. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Can I make it full screen? No. It's pretty awesome. You can look it from behind. Yeah, I like this. Again, it's creepy, I think, but I like it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So is nature. Nature's
Say
pretty
what?
creepy. Nature is also pretty creepy.
Oh, how so? Tell me something.
I don't know. Have you ever been diving? Like the things you see in the ocean look like they're out of sci-fi movies.
Yeah. But I always thought, I mean, I always think that the kind of impressions that I got are due to the fact that I don't know anything about other species, which is a shame, actually. Yeah. Wow. Okay, let's see if we can do the same with another one. Pick one you like. Oh, there are three. Then I
the
guess
last one.
So what the next one, right? flower aphid. Okay. You see, when the multiverse will be real, we'll probably be able to touch this thing.
Yeah.
Wow. And there are numbers here that give us information about what we're seeing. I don't particularly. Do you want to read something? Because I don't care, to be honest, because I want to. Oh, wow. Should we end here?
I don't want to read it in this setting, but I think it would be a real cool tool for education. Like, imagine this was your science class instead of
exactly
a textbook.
Exactly, and you can like interact. Damn, this thing like moves. This is even better than before. Like you can see, breathe. Actually,
yeah,
this is awesome. I love this. Okay, it's still freaky. creepy, but I love it as a like an educational tool, and it's
Yeah.
also like a work of art that you can interact with. I really like this.
Yeah, it's like, it looks like a heart beating.
Yeah, I wonder whether I can get closer. Let's try. Can I get closer, please? Yes. How closer can I get? God damn. Okay. Wow, this is awesome. Have you ever watched things like Ant-Man or something like this?
I haven't seen that one.
No? I mean,
No.
it becomes super small and enters inside humans and things like this. Actually, I think it gets small to the quantum level or like something crazy. Wow. Anyway, I love this. Cool. Well, next.
Let's see.
Examine specimen. Oh, there are also field recording and photos. Okay, we'll do this. That's a butterfly.
Compare it to real life.
That's a butterfly kind of. What is that? How is it called? Okay. Coded circuitry beetle.
But they.
Do you think the colors are real, or she went a little nuts with it?
I don't know. I guess we could look at the photo.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, okay. So it's pretty crazy, actually.
It's pretty real.
Yeah, it's crazy. Look at the colors.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the sound. I'm mesmerized. I love this stuff. Wow.
Look at the last sentence. The beetle's movement is a result of circuitry rather than muscle.
Yeah.
So they're electric.
Wow, this is so cool. Okay. Yeah, I'm hooked. I like it. Oh, wow, look at the colors. My God. Wow. Let's see the other animals too, like the other insects. For real? Are you seeing this?
Yeah.
Okay, this is incredible. It looks like it's golden.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know we had insects like this. I mean, not that I. Wow. You know, like the photos are actually wilder than the
Didn't the computer?
Would you agree?
Yeah, they are crazy. What is it? Is it reality is crazier than fiction?
Yeah, exactly. Wow. Okay. Let's hold on. Let me come back to you. Hold on. How do I do this? Pause share. Maybe stop share. How about this? Okay, cool. So how was this trip?
It was trippy. It's an interesting new field of art.
Yeah,
I don't know how they do it.
this could be a great tool to teach
Mhm.
kids and or even adults like you.
Especially like distance learning. If you're not in a classroom, that's way more engaging than just a screen share or a book, or it could be the future of education.
Hope so. I I remember in high school and even middle school, we never, like we were doing biology or chemistry, we were never taken to laboratories. We did the chem and biology on books.
Really, we
Yeah,
had
it was
almost
terrible.
everything was in a laboratory. Technology classes, we had shop mechanics,
Oh, wow.
chemistry, biology. We
Okay.
dissected frogs and
Really?
yeah.
No, I never did any of this. In fact, uh,
But where
I
were you? Were you in Milan, or
again,
where were you in high school? In Milan or
in Rome, in Napoli, high
Napoli?
school in
Okay.
Napoli. But I think this was quite widespread because we had laboratories, but we never really used them.
Huh.
They our teachers didn't take us there, and also there were not a lot of money to have them function. I don't know if the teachers were lazy because now that I'm number one, I sucked at these disciplines because I even physics we did it on a book. And if I think about it right now, and I think about physics and I think about biology, chemistry, this should be very practical thing, like hands-on.
Yeah.
Um,
Physics was, I mean, we did book work and equations, but it was all experiments. Like we tested gravity by dropping metal balls and
yeah, I
was
mean, that's how supposed to do it, right? Like you do the experiments, then you go back, think, and then
yeah,
attach the the formalization of your experiment, the mathematical formula to what you've seen, and then you generate
yeah,
knowledge right there, like you hook it.
yeah,
But we
yeah.
didn't have the interesting part. We only had the other part. And me, rebellious me, I didn't like these things. And I was immersed in philosophy and literature, like these kind of things, but was not able to see that actually physics and biology and chemistry were basically asking the same question that philosophy was asking. Just they were just more recent. Because if you look back at the first philosophers, like when I say the first, I really mean until 17th century, even 18th century. They were very well versed people that kind of knew everything. So because there was not a strong specialization as you have it right now, right? And so you like the main books of each disciplines were very little, which means you could read everything important about chemistry. You could read it. Maybe 18th century, maybe not, but 16th, 17th century, I feel like you could. For instance, Descartes, so 16th century philosopher, is the guy that invented analytic geometry, for example. You know what it,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, like so the Cartesian axis, the x, the epsilon, the mathematical, the geometry, the representation of numbers on axis. That's an invention of a philosopher who did that, but then he was also dissecting animals and was writing books about law, was writing
Wow.
theories of knowledge based on what he knew our nervous systems and our circulatory system and everything worked. Like if you read it right now, it seems a lot of bullshit, but these people until very recently didn't have access to bodies, for example, because church wouldn't let it.
Yeah.
Or like infinitesimal calculus, like very small calculation, or even some like one of the very first object that you could utilize to make calculations, invented by a philosopher, Leibniz, who was also a mathematician and a theologian, and then knew a lot about law. Like if you like these people would could see information at 360 degrees, basically.
Yeah, I think in English we call them a Renaissance man.
Exactly. Yeah.
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 That's interesting. Like my whole high school career was in a laboratory, but we never studied philosophy, or I didn't even know philosophy existed until college. Like your approach was the complete opposite.
Yeah. I rejected it. It's not that I didn't. I thought it was useless because to me philosophy was enough. Very like looking back, like that was silly. I had reasons. It was poorly taught. My teachers. I mean, I taught for many years, and so I can say that my quality of my teachers was not excellent. And I'm being gentle here, but generally speaking, I don't know, like sometimes looking back, I think like I should have understood that we were talking about the same things, because now when I read something about physics, something about biology, like I can clearly see that the questions are always the same. What is the universe? How do we know? What is knowledge? What the hell are we doing here? Why is the universe and not nothing? You know, like all this kind of stuff, which is very old questions. They've translated into
but it's all of the questions that we still can't answer.
Or we like answer, but then we scale our consciousness, and then we have to answer again, and then we have to answer again, and then we have to answer again, because I think it's in the very nature of these questions that all the answers that we find are always momentary, I think. Because even if I had let's put it this way, even if I had because questions and problems are different, right? They're two different things. We sometimes confuse questions with problems. Problems have solutions, okay? Not every question has an answer. Okay, sometimes it's true that sometimes you cannot solve problems, but you cannot yet solve problems. But there are questions you can't really ever. Is there a God or not? Some people will say yes, but some people will say no. Is there a way of testing these answers?
The only way to test it is to die.
Yeah, like good luck with that. You know, it's like, but that's a question. This is what I'm trying to say, right? That's a question. Is there a life after death? Okay, that's a question. It's not a problem. The problem is how can I get from A to B in the quickest possible way? It's not a question. I formulate the two things the same way because I use a question mark towards the end. But anyway, I'm digressing. What I was trying to say is that even if I had an answer which is definite to any given question, people would still not stop asking, because it's in our like we had people, I don't know, we had Jesus, we had the Buddha, we had the Lao Tse, we had the Plato, we had many countless very intelligent people that, you know, said Hegel, actually, a philosopher named Hegel, claimed that he had concluded philosophy basically in the 18th century. He said, I found all the answers, like we can close, it's done. Like he said that, and he believed that, but people didn't pay attention. They continued the thing. Or did they?
That's a bold statement.
Yeah, but do you know, there are some of my teachers who actually agreed with it, because philosophy doesn't necessarily work as a science. You don't necessarily progress. You don't. What you do afterwards is not necessarily better than what you did before. Like there are some arguments according to which actually the whole history of philosophy didn't move a lot after Plato and Aristotle. There are a lot of arguments to be made for this, which is a quite a heavy statement, right? Because 2,500 years.
Yeah.
But there are people that were affirming this a little stronger, and I at times I agree with it, at times I don't. But because all the basic terminology, for example, was laid down by them. Basic problem, yeah. Basic terminology, you know, logic, physics, ontology, ethics, politics, theory of art, poetics. Like these are all terms that invented Aristotle. Well, invented, or anyway, these are all works of Aristotle's.
Yeah, well, he was the first one to write them down.
Yeah, and to distinguish a subject from another, and to ask the basic question, what is life? So in a way, like there are a lot of claims, there are a lot of ways to say that we are still like under their shadow, and they have said even the way they thought about movement, they thought about change, even the very building blocks of like how we think reality, like the movement, stasis, identity, difference, potentiality, power, actuality, reality, possibility, like all these kind of terms were laid out and thought very thoroughly by them 2,500 years ago. And I like later philosophers tried to reformulate what they said, but they didn't really alter too much. I don't think. So
at least they didn't improve it.
A little, they clarified, simplified, complexified sometimes, like they made it a little more difficult than it was, but they didn't really. It's not like I don't know, quantum physics, for example, that came and was like a bomb in science, and everything was different all of a sudden. Like we never really, I feel the way philosophy perceives itself is way more like the change is way more linear. There are not abrupt revolutions and changes. Va bene. So much for our half an hour.
Yeah, we caught it.
I'm sorry. I hope you had fun, and that was not like a waste of time for you.
It's a perfect break in my workday.
Okay. Glad to provide that. So I shall see you next week, and yeah, have a great party and have fun. Oh no, you have to go date. So good luck with that.
Yeah, tonight. Yeah.
Take care, buddy. I'll see you soon. Huh?
Ciao.
Ciao. Bye.